Good afternoon. We are live captioning our meetings. Please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. At this time, I call to order the regular meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board for April the 28th, 2026. For the record, I'll call a roll of the board members. Our student advisory representative is not here. Huh? Yes, yeah. She's on crutches, poor thing. Susan Bittersmith. Here. Kelly Butler.
Present.
Yay, she's out there in cyberspace. Donna
Thank
Davis
you.
here. Tom Narini.
Present.
Jacqueline Smith.
Present.
Marie Sullivan.
Present.
And I'm also here, Linda Thor. Let the record reflect that 7 board members are present. At this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by the South Mountain Community College student leadership.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and we'll be back to you in just a minute. We have one substitution tonight. Dr. Daniel Barajas is the Associate Vice President, Senior of External Affairs, is here for Miss Valerie Jones. And now we welcome back the South Mountain Community College Student Leadership Group for your presentation. And if you will introduce yourselves, please.
Good evening, President Thor, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, members of the Shared Governance Executive Council, and guests. My name is Clary Chavez, President of Student Government, and I am here with you today to represent South Mountain Community College, a minority and Hispanic serving institution where student voices are amplified. Next slide, please. Our advisors, Lucero Curiel and Luis Fragoso, have been there for us in ways that go beyond just their roles. They're always supporting and guiding students, and you can tell they actually care about what we're doing and who we're becoming. Because of them, we've seen more clubs start up, more students getting involved, and people feeling more confident putting themselves out there. Personally, they've even pushed me to not give up and to keep going when things get hard. And that's something I'll always carry with me, even in the future. They've helped make our campus feel more connected, and that's something all of us appreciate every single day. Next slide.
My name is Jamian Cook. Good evening, President Thorne, and members of the board. I am one of 4 student council representatives at South Mountain. My role is to represent the student government through academic affairs under Dr. Elise Murillo. Perla Rodriguez does the same through student affairs. Jaden Holloway is under administrative services, and Jay Vasquez's position is in shared governance. Being a council representative has given me another perspective beyond what I experienced as a student. I've been able to listen and discuss board decisions that directly affect other students and myself. Student voices are important and matter, as it is student voices that inspire the yearning for higher education in South Phoenix. Within our respective positions, we each communicate the students' thoughts and opinions towards the decisions discussed between each of our departments. Along with that, we share the hopes that our peers desire for our college. Next slide, please. Can you do the next slide, please? Hello, my name is Christian Alexander. Student, I'm in charge of student government. I'd like to introduce to you the officers who are in charge of a part of our improvement of campus life. The events and fairs the students have made possible. They put tremendous effort toward making the college a better place, and not just a school, but it's also a home. Students can look back on this day and college they spent with fulfillment. I would like to introduce you today, C. Claudia Chavez as our president, Jaden Holloway as our vice president, Stephanie Ramirez as our secretary, and me, Christian Alexander, as treasurer, Kiana Perez as public relations, and Ludio Delgado as our event coordinator. Next slide, please.
Hello, I'm Kiana Perez, and I serve as the Public Relations Officer for Student Government. In my role, I focus on promoting campus events, increasing student awareness, and helping strengthen communication between students, clubs, and campus leaderships. For student engagement, SMCC has continued to provide a wide range of opportunities that encourage students to get involved, build connections, and feel a part of campus life. Some of the key events and initiatives include our Student Life Summer Retreat, which focus on leadership skill development and student networking. This was the first campus event I went to, and it launched my journey of being a student leader. I built a layer of confidence and leadership skills and made connections before classes even begun. Club fairs play a role in students' lives by encouraging participation across campus. What makes ours unique is the interconnectedness of our community and how easy it is to get involved with multiple groups. Events like the Black Student Union's Black Block Party further the sense of connection by inviting people from all backgrounds together in a fun, inclusive space centered on celebrating and sharing their cultures. Next slide, please. SMCC extends its impact by hosting a larger campus events such as the Turkey Drive, where students give back and support the neighboring community. In this event, our group helped give out 500 free turkeys and other resources to family in needs. Stuco officer Jaden Holloway would share that he enjoyed interacting directly with community members and helping keeping the atmosphere positive while people waited for their items. We're grateful to take part in simple acts of service, especially during times they need it the most. Another event I'd like to highlight is the Desert Beats Community Dance, with live music crossing Kumba and Wala sounds that drew a diverse age group crowd. While being there, I saw a range of dancing and compliments being handed out to one another, and my cultural identification is being Mexican and Dene. So I felt at home hearing the cultural influences shared in music. This was also the first event I attended as public relations officer, so it holds a very special place in my heart. Next slide, please. Hello, my name is Dario and I serve as the event coordinator for SMCC Student Government. I'm currently graduating with 2 associates as a high school student, which I was able to earn through SMCC's early college programs, which include AAEC, ACE, and HOL. One thing I've appreciated about SMCC is the number of opportunities available to students. Programs like the honors programs and Phi Theta Kappa give students a chance to challenge themselves academically. SMCC also has the STEM Prep Academy, which allows students to work directly with professors and gain hands-on research experience. Being a part of that program gave me the opportunity to start building those skills early on, and micro internships have also been really valuable towards me because they particularly help students develop professional skills and gain real world experience. Being involved in these programs as a high school student has played a big role in preparing me for my future. Next slide, please. In addition to academic programs, SMCC also offers a variety of resources to support students outside the classroom. For example, we have Gabriel's Pantry at the Village, which helps address food insecurity. To date, the pantry has allowed my peers to shop a total of 2,507 times this academic year. In spring of 2025, you may remember that student government hosted a clothing drive during the Campus Earth Day event. Seeing the impact it had on students really highlighted a need on campus. Because of that seed planted by us, and thanks to the collaborative effort of students and staff that donated from their closet, the Office of Student Life is working to introduce a clothing boutique in their building that will provide convenient access to the clothing collected. Thank you. Next slide, please.
On April 1st of this year, President Dr. Veronica Hippolito held her Between Two Chairs student chat session. President Hippolito felt that it was necessary to have a conversation directly with students. Students shared what we appreciate about SMCC. Many said the college provides opportunity and specifically mentioned the bachelor's programs implemented. It was also mentioned that SMCC has a really strong sense of community that allows us to build upon our own personal growth. President Hippolito inquired about what the college could add to or improve on. Students had brought up topics such as renovations in our Cougar Cafe, the Student Union building, and outdoor work studies. I remember one student voicing the limited number of elective classes offered to students and to consider adding more electives to develop professional skills. Myself and others enjoyed this first talk with our president, and I will be looking forward to attending more next year. Next slide, please. Another spotlight is the Chat and Chew events hosted by our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Scott. Over the course of the year, I've attended nearly all of Dr. Scott's Chat and Chews. Dr. Scott does an incredible job at informing students about the many resources the school has to offer. She invites various speakers to discuss these topics, such as opportunities for tutoring, our study abroad programs, and much more, while also catering nice snacks and meals for the audience. For the last Chat and Chew, our shared governance representative, Jay Vasquez, and other graduates informed our current students on the next steps after college and the benefits they've received from a college education. My personal favorite Chat and Chew has been the study abroad event, where former study abroad students told their experiences traveling to different countries while enrolled in other classes. Our study abroad coordinator, Christine Rack, and Dr. Scott had everyone taste culturally diverse foods from around the world, so I couldn't miss out on that. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Stephanie Ramirez, and I'm the Secretary for Student Government and a member of DECA at South Mountain Community College. Student government has seen a growth in members and student engagement. Over the course of the academic year, we created multiple events with our peers in mind. We use these opportunities to collect data from students in order to get feedback back on what they would like to see more of on campus, and they help drive our decisions. Overall, this academic year has seen added growth within our community and clubs, and the effort of our student government will continue to grow in alignment with our campus. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Jaden Holloway, and I am the Vice President of the SMCC Student Government, as well as Student Representative on the Administrative Services Council. Today, I want to bring attention to an issue that directly impacts student success beyond the classroom: unequal access to internship opportunities across our district. Next slide, please. Many students are actively seeking internships, yet there are simply not enough opportunities available to meet the demand. Nationally, more than 8 million students are looking for internships, yet fewer than half are able to secure one. While I'm not completely aware of the internships available at every school in our district, I can speak to what we are seeing at South Mountain. Many of our students are feeling they are lacking access to internships that truly benefit them and align with their field of study. This points to a larger issue. Internship access is not always consistent across campuses. Some students benefit from stronger partnerships or greater visibility, while others have far fewer opportunities depending on where they attend. For a district as large and diverse as ours, this creates an uneven playing field for students who are equally motivated and capable. This matters because internships are no longer optional, they're essential. Research shows that internships can double a student's chances of having a job lined up after graduation, and they're often one of the most influential factors employers consider when making hiring decisions. Without equal access, students may graduate with strong academics knowledge, but limited real-world experience, putting them at a disadvantage in the job market. We recognize that the district has already taken steps to address this issue through tools such as the internship search on the MCCCD pipeline, and that at SMCC, students were able to participate in micro internships, which were highly successful. However, these resources are not fully integrated or consistently accessible to all students. Next slide, please. To address this, we propose strengthening and standardizing the district's existing internship system by improving coordination between these efforts. This would include integrating micro internship opportunities directly into the MCCCD pipeline, ensuring that all campuses contribute opportunities to a centralized system, and improving visibility so students across the district are aware of and able to access these resources. By connecting these existing tools into one cohesive system, the district can create a more consistent and equitable experience for all students. The benefits are immediate. It increases access to opportunities, strengthens connections with local industries, and improves workforce readiness by ensuring all students can gain meaningful experience. Most importantly, it ensures that opportunity is not determined by campus, but by student ambition. Next slide, please. We ask that you integrate all internship opportunities into the MCCCD pipeline to ensure every student has equal access both across the district and at every campus. By doing so, you're not just improving a system, you're creating opportunities, strengthening workforce readiness, and investing in the future of every student across this district. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Thank you again for your time and attention during today's presentation. Over the past 3 years, I've grown so much with South Mountain in ways I didn't expect. What started as an opportunity through dual enrollment balancing high school and college at 17 turned into something that completely shaped who I am today. Like many students, I had doubts about myself and my future, and there were moments where everything felt overwhelming, but South Mountain gave me support, guidance, and people who believed in me even when I struggled to believe in myself. And because of that, I kept going. And now, in just 3 weeks, I'll be graduating with my degree in behavioral sciences and heading out of state for college on a full ride. Something I once thought was out of reach for me, beyond the opportunities, what really stands out is the environment here at South Mountain. Being on campus, you can feel it. You can feel the people are kind, the people are welcoming and supportive. It is a place where you truly belong, no matter where you're starting from. Because of the support I found here and the choice to keep going, I've grown into someone who wants to give back to this place that gave me so much. I hope that through our shared experiences, you leave with a deeper understanding that South Mountain is more than just an educational institution, it is a college with a heart. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations to you. And thanks to all the students for a very comprehensive and thoughtful presentation. I do have a question for Jaden. So I'm certain that students would prefer paid internships. Are they also interested in unpaid internships?
I'm sure that many, President Thor, I'm sure that many students would be interested in said unpaid internships because it does still provide those real world experiences that are necessary, that give the students the skills that are necessary for these careers.
Thank you very much. Do other board members have questions? Ms. Davis.
I thought your presentation was wonderful, and I totally agree with you about the communication and combining everything into one place. I think that's a great idea. So thank you for presenting that to us.
Thank you so much.
Again, thank you very much. Also, we want to let you know that you're welcome to stay. But we also recognize that we're nearing the end of the semester and you may have some studying to do. So feel free to leave if you need to.
Thank you so much, President Thor. I do want to say thank you for listening to us and our ask. And we did bring gifts for you guys.
Oh,
So-
yay. We love gifts.
Dr. Thorwell, they're giving us gifts. I think that it is important to acknowledge the leadership that the students of Maricopa represent
Yes,
to our
thank you.
communities. And the idea that we're now talking, thank you so much. Gosh, great, thanks. We talk about leadership and tomorrow and who's going to be in charge and what does the future look like. I have to say that with all the student presentations we've had, they've been overwhelmingly positive. I have faith in our future because of you. And certainly tonight's presentation was certainly a capstone to all of the work efforts that students put in to informing us of what we could do better and how we can look at the world through your eyes in this respect. So I really think it's important that we say thank you to you and to the students that preceded you, and really honored to sit here tonight and hear your presentation and your need and the challenge that you put forward to us to continue to hear you and do better. So thank you very much. And really felt I needed to say that.
And Dr. Thor?
Dr. Narini.
I just want to put a plug in for dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment and the students that we have here, because we have what, 2 or 3 that are still in high school and still are in high school and in college and in leadership positions. So just want to put a plug in for dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment and all that's going on at South Mountain for that.
Very impressive. Thank you again. We're now ready for the Faculty Executive Council report with Stacy Smith.
President Thor, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, members of the Shared Governance Executive Council, and guests. My name is Stacy Smith. I'm a residential faculty member at Paradise Valley Community College and the Faculty Executive Council president. And this is my last governing board address.
Oh.
Can't believe it, but this is it. So this year, I have learned that unity is strength, and that in the words of young Maddie Stepanek, where there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. I also have learned the importance of engaging in conversations and of being willing to ask and answer tough questions. Faculty Senate presidents highlighted this year as an affirmation of shared governance in action. For example, faculty played a critical role in major district leadership searches, budget, compensation, and benefits committees, shared governance councils, and more. According to one Faculty Senate president, these opportunities demonstrate the vibrancy of our collective voice. Another Faculty Senate president said, shared governance takes a tremendous investment of time and energy, whether in a formal or informal setting. This type of governance is not a passing fancy, but it requires consistent and persistent nurturing to be effective and to ride the waves of unexpected actions with confidence that no one group is above the other. I had a dream recently, and this is an actual dream, and it's a little weird, but I thought I would share it, that I was running a race. First, I was running, so that's part of the dream. I stopped at one point and watched Ramona Goth, who's here with us tonight, cross the finish line, and she's finishing up as past president. And all of the runners cheered. Then I returned to the race and I kept running. I woke up before reaching the finish line and reflected on what this dream meant. Was I running away from something or running towards a goal? Then I thought of one of my favorite TV shows, The Amazing Race. The Amazing Race, if you don't know, is a global competition where teams of two race across countries and continents, following clues and completing challenges in pursuit of a final destination and prize. Each stage of the race requires strong communication, trust, and shared decision making as teams must rely on one another to solve problems and keep moving forward together. A defining feature of the race is the detour, where teams must choose between two different tasks, often requiring physical endurance, strategy, or creativity, where partners must quickly make decisions under pressure and adjust if something doesn't work. So, on the Amazing Race, like in faculty leadership, setbacks are inevitable, but the resilient teams persist. Resilient teams listen, learn, and lean into opportunities, like in the faculty stories and experiences you heard during my addresses this year. Stories that exemplify what I think the downright awesomeness of faculty. As I cross the finish line as FEC president, I understand that I have been running towards the goal of being a voice for faculty in an environment of complex challenges, such as budget constraints, leadership changes, federal regulations, enrollment challenges. And now I'm passing the baton to Matt Jolly as the incoming FEC president. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Pam Duty from Phoenix College, who is the incoming FEC president-elect. She made it here. Nope. She was trying to make it. She didn't, but she will be here. You'll see plenty of Dr. Duty. This is a mighty team who will continue the race because, in the words of Dr. Duty, faculty are filled with grit and determination to see their students be successful in their classes and achieve their dreams. Faculty, thank you for allowing me to represent you. Executive leaders, thank you for a year of working together and strengthening relationships. Staff and adjunct faculty, thank you for the collaboration on important issues that impact all district employees. And governing board, thank you for listening to our concerns and continuing to support faculty. I want to leave you with one final thought. President Obama once said to a group of students, "We can't afford to talk past one another, to focus only on our differences, or to let the walls of mistrust go up around us. Instead, we have to listen carefully to each other. We have to focus on places where we can find common ground and respect each other's views, even when we disagree. There's more work to be done and students to support, and faculty are here for it." Thank you. Questions? Yes.
Yes, Stacy, we want to thank you for your leadership, for your collaboration, and for your professionalism this past year. We very much appreciate it, and we look forward to working with Matt Jolly next year and hope to continue to have such a positive relationship with FEC and the faculty as a whole. Are there board members who have questions or comments? Not. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good summer. And we're now ready for the adjunct faculty group report. Kim?
Good evening, President Thor, governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of the Shared Governance Executive Council, and guests. We hosted our Outstanding Adjunct Awards in conjunction with MCLI on the 17th of April and celebrated 29 adjunct faculty who were nominated by other adjunct and residential faculty. Their selection was based on a demonstrated commitment to outstanding teaching practices, including dynamic course delivery, stimulating classroom discussions, academic rigor, and robust community engagement. Dr. Britt gave a beautiful tribute recognizing the work that our adjuncts do, and we are pleased that Ms. Sullivan was able to join us as well for the evening. My greatest joy in these awards is learning of the extensive talent and experience that our faculty bring to their work. From the foundational basics of math and English to law, music, geology, forensic science, medical and behavioral health practices, workforce skills such as HVAC tech, and so much more. Our adjunct faculty share their skills, their interests, and unique teaching styles to make a difference in the lives of our students. It's truly a joy to celebrate them. At our recent adjunct faculty group meeting, we enjoyed an engaged discussion about how we can utilize our time during the summer to plan for new ways to engage with our adjuncts. The reps at Scottsdale Community College have been doing an outreach program for newly hired adjunct faculty that we plan to build out as a template and expand to all of our colleges. They work with HR to get the names of newly hired adjuncts and reach out individually to meet and provide them with some of the resources for their work and college teaching experience. We are aware that the first year experience is not just a class we teach to students, but also a foundation that we can help to provide our adjunct faculty help with their retention and engagement. We are also developing a flyer to reach out to adjunct faculty to help educate them and recruit them as adjunct faculty representatives for the colleges when we are holding elections. One of our reps actually developed a flyer that we have attached to the report that we sent you. And we've realized that most adjunct reps will say that their engagement with their college and the district increased when they became a rep and learned more about everything. We feel a commitment to helping spread that message and also the engagement with our adjuncts. So you have the link to the prototype flyer. We feel that part of this is really working on retention, and we feel that our role in that can be a significant one in not only getting them as reps, but keeping good adjuncts teaching. Lastly, I attended a talk, well, actually not quite lastly, but in addition, I attended a Taco Tuesday adjunct appreciation luncheon at GCC, where the adjunct faculty were recognized for their service and their teaching. They received pins and certificates from Tiffany and enjoyed a taco lunch. And it was interesting and wonderful to meet some of the other adjuncts at Glendale, and as an outreach situation for myself to be able to go out there and explain to them also about the opportunities as an adjunct rep. We just had elections for some roles that were ending, and we have new reps, 2 reps at Chandler Gilbert, Elise, who will be continuing, and a new rep, Christina Green. At Paradise Valley, we have Kristen Moy-Hein. At Mesa, we have Jennifer Jordan. And at Scottsdale Community College, we have Pat Serrano continuing, which we are thrilled about because she's been a wonderful asset to us. And then lastly, unlike Stacy, my term is not ending. We just, in our elections, my term was up for an end, and I was nominated and reelected. So I am happy to continue the work because there are many projects that I feel like I still want to contribute to and see through in different ways, and excited to be working in service of my adjuncts for a couple of years to come. So I look forward to seeing you all at future meetings again. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Kim, and congratulations on your reelection.
Thank you.
Board members, any questions?
Thank you. We enjoyed having you there.
Thank you very much. We're now ready for the staff representation update. Jason and Tony.
President Thor, members of the board, chancellor, members of the Shared Governance Executive Council, and guests. My name is Jason Rich. I am here with Twelk, and we are the co-presidents of staff representation. Next slide, please. This month, we've been busy on doing our self-nomination period to bring in new reps for our next cycle. We've also been working on trying to look at the last 5 years of staff representation and how we can make it stronger. So we've been working on creating updated bylaws that we've gone through and put into place for the next year, and working on improving our documentation. So we look forward to next month being able to talk about the new reps that are coming in for the next couple of years. Next slide, please. And to continue on with the job spotlights, we wanted to focus in on the police and public safety job families this month. Next slide, please. The job family is broken up into 3 distinct job series that have different titles underneath them. We have our officers that have varying ranks. We have our communications experts and our operations support. But rather than trying to explain what all these different people do in their varying roles, we've actually asked the expert himself to come and talk about this more. Next slide, please. And
President Thor, members of the governing board, Chancellor Gonzalez, and esteemed guests, thank you for having me. I was asked to provide a brief update about the structure of public safety. So under the direction, stewardship, leadership, and support of Chief Operating Officer Leanne Bone, the Department of Public Safety for the Maricopa County Community Colleges District is comprised of a comprehensive, service-oriented organization dedicated to protecting and supporting I can't even read my own handwriting. I apologize. Dedicated to protecting and supporting a diverse academic community spanning 10 colleges and the district office. The department is comprised of two integrated components, the police department and the emergency management office, working collaboratively to ensure a safe, resilient, and prepared learning environment. The police department operates as a full-service law enforcement agency, providing 24/7 coverage district-wide through patrol, investigations, communications, and records. Officers responded to more than 31,000 calls for service annually, conduct criminal investigations, manage critical incidents, support large-scale special events, and engage in community-oriented policing efforts to foster trust and partnership with students, faculty, and staff. The department has transitioned to a regional deployment model and continuous service delivery, ensuring equitably and timely response across all campuses while strengthening collaboration with local law enforcement partners. Complementing these efforts, the Emergency Management Office leads district-wide initiatives in preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery. This includes oversight of OSHA-related safety programs, Clery Act compliance, and the coordination of emergency management specialists who work directly with college leadership to enhance readiness through planning, training, and exercises. Together, these efforts support a proactive, all hazards approach to campus safety. As highlighted in the 2025 Police Department Annual Report, the department has focused on building a strong organizational foundation grounded in best practice policy procedure with a strategic emphasis on achieving accreditation through the Arizona Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. This includes the implementation of a centralized policy management system and formal accreditation training to ensure compliance, accountability, and continuous improvement. Significant investments in technology have further enhanced safety and operational effectiveness, including the deployment of district-wide access control systems, integrated video surveillance, body-worn cameras, mobile data computers, and enhanced communications infrastructure. These tools improve situational awareness, transparency, and the department's ability to respond effectively in real time. Equally important is the department's commitment to people, prioritizing the recruitment and deployment of servant leaders who are invested in being part of the MCCCD community. This philosophy emphasizes professionalism, trust, and partnership, ensuring that public safety personnel are not only highly trained, but deeply connected to the campuses we serve. Together, these efforts reflect a modern, forward-looking Department of Public Safety built on foundations of excellence, strengthened through innovation, and dedicated to the safety and success of the entire community college district community that we serve. Prior to speaking to you, I left with you a challenge coin at your desk. Challenge coins in law enforcement and the military represent a deep appreciation for your support and your ongoing team collaboration with us as we enhance safety and security district-wide. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
In your packet, you will find a copy of the report if you're looking for more information. Next slide, please. Thank you, Chief. Now to continue on with the South Mountain focus, we're going to invite our Senate rep to come up. Before I do that, I wanted to double something that the student said, where I started as a student at South Mountain and graduated from there. And it was a work study program that gave me my start and has led to where I am today. Next slide, please.
Good evening, Board President Thor, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, and members of the Shared Governance Council and guests. My name is Onicio Jensen Wodia. I'm a property materials manager in events and fleet services and business services at South Mountain Community College. And I too graduated from South, so yeah, it's in the blood. It's in the blood. And I also serve as staff senator, which I will conclude my 6 years on staff representation on June 30th, which is what, 63 days, 4 hours, and like 30 minutes away. But hey, not like I'm doing a countdown. Our college has a lot of great things, as you heard earlier tonight from our students. But I also want to share a couple other interesting items that have happened recently at our campus. Our men's golf team just won the regional championship and are headed to nationals. Our men's baseball team won their regular season championship, and the women's softball team is going to regionals. and our College DECA Club had a record-breaking performance at the 26th Arizona DECA Career Development Conference. Next slide, please. Plus, we had a really fun and inaugural Express Yourself exhibition in the Student Union building. I, along with Lucero Curiel, the Student Life and Leadership Manager who you saw earlier tonight, her and I both serve as the campus representatives to the MCCD Civic Council. We decided that we wanted to do something fun and interesting to engage our students and our faculty and staff. So we organized and coordinated the event, which featured a museum-style setting for self-expression, freedom of speech, and civic engagement. We connected with our campus marketing office to create a flyer and a campus event on the website. Then we met with a couple of faculty to develop learning outcomes for the event so that participants, one, reflect how personal experiences, values, and beliefs can be communicated through creative mediums. Two, engage in respectful dialogue around differing viewpoints and expressions. And third, recognizing the role of creative expression in personal growth, community building, and social awareness. We also created a Google form for our students, faculty, and staff to complete and to share what medium they wish to express themselves and upload images of their creativity and artwork. We had several paintings, sketches, jewelry, photography, poetry, American Indian, arts and crafts, and we had this really cool paper mache shark, and it had lights on it, and it was in the dark, and oh my God, it glowed. It was amazing. And it was done by one of our students. And it was all displayed in our student union building and in the walls and in the tables everywhere. It was amazing. And we even had a small stage because we also had some music performers and music vocal performers. So it was kind of a fun, interesting way to tie this all together. In addition, we also had what we called an activity corner, where individuals were able to create their own expression boxes. And if I may, I would like to show a couple of the boxes that some of the students made. Give me a second here. The first one is one of the students who's in nursing. And what she said is that I wanted to create this box because the nursing program will help me get the degree that I want, and then I can heal and save lives, right? The other student said that they wanted to advocate for sustainability and protecting our environment. So they created this box that had like a view inside of a forest with trees and the environment being protected. And this all came from our students. So it was just interesting to see in a creative way how they could express themselves and still be engaged and express with others in the room. So we also had another local nonprofit organization with us, Mi Familia Vota, and they helped with voter registration. And we even had iPads available. So there was no excuse. You could get voter registration done on the spot. Besides, we were walking around. Okay, did you vote? Did you vote? Are you going to vote? Are you going to vote? Yeah. So we got them all. So, but again, and the reason we did that is because our voices and vote is another form of self-expression. So overall, it was a fun and creative way for everyone to come together and share one's perspectives, expressions, and voices. We plan on making this an annual event so that more individuals on our campus can continue to express themselves. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That sounds like a great event. Any questions from board members? All right.
Thank you.
Thanks all to all four of you.
Oh, thank you. I was going to bring the big sculpture from the student that had the shark. But thank you.
Dr. Thor, I do have a comment. I told the chief already, but that report was amazing.
Mhm.
And I had no earthly idea. And Jason, I want to thank you for doing these job things because I have learned so much. And thanks to you for bringing forward these amazing staff people for us to learn more about what they actually do. But Chief, I had no earthly idea. So thank you for presenting that to us.
Thank you. Chancellor Gonzalez, we're ready for your report.
Thank you, President Thor, members of the governing board, Shared Governance Executive Council, and guests who are with us tonight. Let me provide some college-specific data since we had the students and staff from South Mountain present tonight. Headcount at South is at its highest level in the past decade, up 5% year over year and 10% compared to 2015-2016. And additionally, spring 2026 FTSE is up 8.9% year to date compared to spring 2025. The Behavioral Health Science Bachelor's Degree program currently enrolls 1,861 students with 87 graduates to date, and an additional 144 expected to complete the program this spring. South continues to expand early college pathways with high school partners this spring. 90 AAEC students will graduate, including 45 earning an associate's degree from South Mountain Community College. AAEC is the Arizona Ag Equestrian School, so something along those lines. I'm not hitting on every single one there. Some college highlights, points of pride for them is that South is partnering in the Phoenix Digital Education Canopy Project with Phoenix Union High School District, Cartwright School District, and the City of Phoenix to expand digital access, including providing whole home internet to students within the canopy. South's Phi Theta Kappa chapter has earned 5-star status with one student named to the 2025 All-USA Academic Team, and they were likely honored last Wednesday. The Storytelling Institute celebrated its 30th anniversary and has been named an artist in residence at the Grand Canyon and launched a new Community Fellows program with its first cohort graduating this spring. South's Quality Pre-Apprenticeship program, sponsored by Sun Construction, has been approved by the Arizona Department of Economic Security, strengthening pathways into registered apprenticeship programs. So congratulations to South on your good work there. As far as the system is concerned, spring headcount has reached 92,835 students, which reflects a 4.4% increase over the spring 2025. And we continue to anticipate numbers coming out because summer and fall enrollment is now in full swing, those numbers to come. And then for legislative update, leaders across the system participated in Maricopa Community College's Day at the Capitol to advocate for state funding. Special thanks to staff, faculty, and students for promoting their programs, to the many legislators who came out to the event. Our coordinated effort on that day ensured that our message reached each of the 90 legislators' offices as well as the governor's office. I know I saw some of our board members there as well. We appreciate your participation. We had students who were on hand to answer questions and display some of their works and talk about their programs. We had horses and dogs at the event as well, and all were loved by those who came through. And I personally witnessed many legislators and many more of their staff who came through and stopped by and visited with each of our college at each of our college tables. So earlier today, I think the college presidents, their faculty, staff, and students, and other leaders throughout the system for taking time out of their busy schedules to come and showcase some of the fine things that Maricopa are doing. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. So I thank you all once again here publicly. Dr. Thor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Any questions for the Chancellor? Seeing none. I failed to announce that, or to bring to everyone's attention, that we do have 3 faculty emeritus distinctions on the agenda tonight for Dr. Joseph Ortiz, Dr. Lisa Young, and Dr. James Elam. We're now at Citizens Interim. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the governing board. In compliance with the open meeting law, the governing board will neither discuss nor take action on issues raised during this portion of the agenda. Members of the public who speak shall not engage in conduct that substantially interrupts, delays, or disturbs the peace and good order of the proceeding of the board, including but not limited to the use of profane language or obscene gestures, yelling or similar demonstrations, hand clapping, stomping of feet, or the excessive use of noise. Such actions may serve as cause for the board's president to direct that the speaker immediately conclude his or her remarks. We have 2 requests to speak tonight. The first is Miss Lynn Winslow. And I understand that you have requested 5 minutes and we will grant that.
President Thor, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, members of the Shared Governance Council, and guests. My name is Lynn Winslow, and I've been before you before. I'm a citizen taxpayer speaking on behalf of myself and others in this district who expect accountability, integrity, and responsible stewardship of public trust. I want to be clear, this is not about personalities, it is about responsibility. What I and many others do not understand is this. The individuals tasked with responding to a required Higher Learning Commission certification report at South Mountain Community College, work that should have been prepared well in advance, were the same individuals whose actions drew serious concern from the commission to the South Mountain campus in the first place. Those concerns were not minor. They included issues such as plagiarism, intellectual property use without attribution, in an academic institution that strikes at the core of integrity. And yet those involved not only remained in place, they advanced. They were paid. They were given expanded roles, increased responsibilities, and presumably additional compensation. That raises a fundamental question. How were these decisions made and how were they justified to the public? Even more concerning is what this signals to students, faculty, and the broader community. When individuals connected to ethical concerns are rewarded and then publicly recognized for fixing the very problems they help create, it undermines confidence in the institution. One comment described the accreditation effort as putting lipstick on a pig. Whether said in frustration or not, that phrasing points to a deeper issue. Was the focus on genuine accountability or simply on appearances? And this leads to an equally serious concern. Why are individuals who are asking questions, seeking clarity and understanding, being discouraged, marginalized, or ostracized for speaking up? In a public institution, this is not just a cultural issue. It raises concerns about rights. The First Amendment exists to protect the ability of individuals to speak, question, and hold public institutions accountable without fear of retaliation. When good faith questions are met with resistance instead of transparency, it creates a chilling effect that is fundamentally at odds with those protections. So my questions to the board are these. What is your responsibility when oversight appears to fail? What standards are applied when ethical concerns are raised? How do you ensure that those who speak up in good faith are protected under their First Amendment rights, not sidelined? And how do you restore trust once it has been called into question? This community is asking for transparency, consistency, and integrity in decision-making. I respectfully ask the board to clarify how these decisions align with your standards for accountability and provide a clear public explanation of the actions taken. I also ask that you outline the steps you will take to ensure accountability, protect First Amendment rights, and restore trust with this community. South Mountain Community College was my home for over 10 years. I was an outstanding adjunct. I love those students, and I have been removed from that position. I would not go back. The space is toxic, and I have listened to my colleagues cry and concern about whether they're going to have jobs tomorrow. Just because HLC says that they feel that the sanctions should be lifted from that school, Department of Education does not necessarily agree with that. Nor does the Department of Labor, nor does the Department of Justice. And I think it needs to be clear to the parents, the students that we just saw, and to those students that their degrees and certificates may not be worth the paper that they're printed on if HLC does not unsanction, recertify South Mountain Community College. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Gilbert Winslow. And you have 3 minutes.
I've made a decision to withdraw my request to speak to the board. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. We're now at the consideration of the consent agenda. Our adopted rules of parliamentary procedure provide for a consent agenda listing several items for approval by the board by a single motion. There will be no specific discussions of the items located therein. Items listed under the consent agenda have gone through a review and recommendation process. Documentation concerning these items has been provided to all board members and the public in advance to assure an extensive and thorough review. Any item may be removed from the agenda by the chancellor as a matter of administrative prerogative or by the governing board upon request by a governing board member. No motion, second, or approval is necessary. Items removed from the consent agenda may be voted on and approved during the consideration of the non-consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda may be sent to executive session for discussion by motion, second, and approval. The item will be removed from the agenda altogether. The matter will be set for an executive session and the proper legal notices will be made. Do any board members or the chancellor wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Bittersmith. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Davis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Those opposed? By a vote of 7-0, the consent agenda is approved. We're now at non-consent action items. First is the second read and adoption of the 2026-27 residential faculty agreement effective July 1, 2026. And we thank you for putting together a requested presentation. Dr. Amy Diaz and Dr. Sasha Radich.
Governing Board President Thor, members of the Governing Board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of SGEC, and guests. It is my pleasure to provide an overview of the proposed changes to the 2026-27 Residential Faculty Agreement on behalf of the full Residential Faculty and Administration Collaboration Team, otherwise known as RFACT, along with one of our co-chairs of RFACT, Dr. Sasha Radiship. I practiced it. Oh my gosh. Radisich. Okay. See, I had a mental block. I'm sorry. It is worth noting that Dr. Patty Finkenstadt serves as the other co-chair. However, she is unable to be here physically this evening, so I am her substitute. It's also my understanding that she is available to us online if we need her assistance. And finally, it's worth noting that the majority of our 8-member team is here tonight, either in person or online, as the action we hope you take tonight is the capstone to the hundreds of hours of work this team has invested into this very important process. Next slide, please, Elza.
Good evening. We did not want to waste your time by going over material that you've already seen. So this is a summary. As you flip through the pages of the red line version that we gave you, obviously there's comments all throughout, but most of those are minor little typographical changes, a lot of clarifying statements. These were the 5 sections that had the major changes for this particular release. And again, it's all summarized in the executive summary. We're happy to answer any particular questions, but the other parts are the minor changes. These are the big items.
Next slide, please, Elsa. So I'll attempt to address the questions received from the governing board prior to tonight's meeting in the next 3 slides. First is Article 15.3. And interestingly, this policy has been included in the RFA, formerly known as the RFP, dating back to 1991. However, it was fairly sparse in detail. So RFACT identified an opportunity to update this policy language, mostly to modernize it, to add some detail to it, and reflect a more accurate title describing its purpose. The interests collected around this policy included the anticipated need to create flexibility for faculty movement between colleges as program growth and needs are expected to change over time to meet our community's needs that other articles in the RFA did not adequately address. So that's the majority of the why on 15.3. Next slide, please, Elsa. When it comes to Article 17.9, the main reason why this policy was identified for revision was because the current language caused some unintended limitations between the peer assistance and review, or PAR, process outcomes for probationary faculty and options provided to the president to take appropriate action. And you can see there that in some cases there was conflicting or confusing information between 2 sections in the current policy. We also added an option to extend probation to a 6th year if Renew with Development was the outcome for a 5th year probationary faculty member. And we added a postponement option when the probationary faculty is under an active investigation at any year in the process. So that's the majority of, I think, the questions surrounding Article 17.9. And Elsa, if you would please advance to the next slide. Finally, Articles 21 and 22. The revisions to these 2 articles are essentially the same for both policy areas, which is why we have them connected together. The main reason why we needed to review these articles was to ensure that any processes that needed to take place during the summer months or dates of faculty non-accountability could continue without a break that may negatively impact or diminish the integrity of those processes. We also needed to clarify some of the language to align with expectations. And I think our last slide is simply opening it up to see if you might have any other questions related to the proposed red line changes for the next iteration of the RFA.
Thank you both very much. That was very helpful. Are there further questions? Ms. Bittersmith?
I don't have a question. I simply want to say thank you because this conversation started several months ago between the 2 of us, just to make sure that we understood thoroughly, and particularly the clarification of what happens over the summer break is extremely helpful. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
Ms. Sullivan?
I also wanted to say thank you, since I'd made one of the requests to have the presentation this evening. I think it helps us better understand the positions. If it consistently in the future, we can have these sort of presentations before we get down to the actual adoption. My question is, what stimulates the revision? Is it that you hear something in the ether, someone comes to you, you have an issue that triggers, did we get clarity enough how to address that? So where does your stimulus for, not the little changes, because yeah, I get those, but more substantive changes?
I'm going to let Dr. Radisich, I really just wanted to say his name correctly. I'm going to let him take this one.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Sasha. I'm just going to go there.
Here, I thought I was just here for moral support and hit the doo-wops in the background. This is the very beginning of our process. We have a cycle where we start by going out to the senior councils in the district, which would be the chancellor's executive team, the faculty executive council, and the 3 vice presidential councils, and literally solicit from them, hey, where are the pain points in the current RFA? what is giving us the most trouble. And every one of those groups interacts with the RFA from different directions. So they're all seeing the pain points that the others might not. And by asking all 5 groups, obviously we ask them to talk to their constituencies. So hopefully, it might be a game of telephone, but hopefully a lot of the employees in the district have a chance to weigh in if there is anything that's friction. And once we've consolidated those answers from the 5 groups, we then send it back to them and say, okay, here's what all of you collectively said. Can you rank them for us? Which are the most important, which are less important? And from that, RFACT then takes a look at how much room we have on our plate and pick as many items as we feel like we can comfortably tackle in a year. So that's where the impetus of the issues starts.
Thank you. And then the work is done within the provost's office with your committee. Is that what I understand, or outside of that?
We have an 8-member committee for residential faculty and 4 administrators. The administrators are chosen by the chancellor, and the faculty are chosen by the Faculty Executive Council. And they work collaboratively all year long. And then outside groups or outside experts or subject matter experts or whatever might be necessary are consulted as needed as we're going along. So we will very often have guests come in. We will sometimes have ad hoc committees meet to work out thorny parts or particularly technical issues. And at the end of the day, once we have policy language in place at a draft form, we then loop it out as broadly as we can and ask people for input. And that's often the first time we hear from people. But it is a process that often takes longer than anyone was expecting. But we feel like the more time we bake into the process, the more likely we are to resolve as many of those issues as we can before they become a problem. And it is, I should say, it is an iterative process. We very much feel like at no point do we feel like the policy that we're putting out is perfect. But what RFACT stands behind is that each iteration is better than the one before.
Thank you. There are just a few of us on the board currently who were present when we worked with folks to initiate this as a thing and a process. So I appreciate you coming back to the table to explain that to us. And again, when we see a lot of red lines, that means something substantive. So certainly appreciate you meeting our request to do that presentation tonight. So I want to thank you, Dr. Thor, for bringing that to our attention. And thank you very much for tonight's presentation. And with that, I will move that we, oh, excuse me, never mind.
No, I just want to do a follow-up to your question, if I could.
Dr. Narini.
So how might an issue be introduced if it's not from one of those 5 groups? We were having a discussion earlier that we might want to get an issue to be considered.
That is an excellent question. And that what you're describing is part of Article 26, which is all about RFACT's process. And one of the things we say is that any of the senior councils or the chancellor can always introduce an issue, particularly if it's a timely one, and we can pick those up at any point. We do have a scheduled cycle when we go out and solicit issues, but at any point, if there is something that is pressing or timely, that can be brought to RFACT for consideration. And for you, I would imagine that the easiest route would be through the chancellor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
So this is my first time participating in something like this. I did not serve on a school board. I have no experience with this kind of thing. I remember the first year that I read this and I thought, holy cow, this is very thorough. The other thing that surprised me was the 5-year probation period that staff have to go through. But my question and the thing I'm still having issues understanding is, if we have faculty that are behaving in a very egregious way, how long, if it's 5 years to get them in the door, how long does it take to get them out of the door?
That is another excellent question.
Oh, good.
It varies wildly, and it depends on how thorny the issue is. There are some times where it is rather clean cut. There's a process that we go through. We are the government. We have to follow the rules. And so when there's a process to be followed, we have to follow the process. It can take time because we want to dot all of our I's and cross all of our T's. But there are other times where the issue is a lot messier and those just naturally drag on. I don't have a specific number if you want to, sure.
Governing Board President Thor and member Ms. Davis. I believe, I just wanted to clarify because I think you said something that some people in the audience probably heard differently than you may have intended. The 5-year probationary process is for faculty only who were hired in that particular line. I think you said staff, but I just want
Oh,
to
I'm
know
sorry.
that it's
Yes.
faculty.
Okay. Yes.
And faculty go through a very prescribed process called the peer assistance and review process that is meant to be their own self-reflection and some evaluation, depending on what year they're in the process, around 3 pillars. And the pillars are teaching, service, and professional growth. There are instances where a faculty member may, they would either be renewed into the next year, or they would be what's called renew with development, because something might be, might need some additional time and support to ensure that faculty are performing at the highest level in those 3 areas, or there could be instances of non-renew. But in that process, it has to be because a faculty member isn't meeting one of those 3 pillars. I don't know that what you were asking about necessarily relates to what is mostly in Article 17. I believe we would use different policies within the RFA to address behavior unbecoming of a faculty member outside of those 3 pillars.
Okay, thank you. This is a lot. I don't know how you guys do it, quite honestly. It's a lot.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to adopt the 2026-2027 residential faculty agreement as presented effective July 1, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Sullivan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Davis. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Butler, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? By a vote of 7-0, the 2026-27 residential faculty agreement is approved. Thank you again. We're now at first read and informational items. The first is the employment and separations report for February 7th through March 13th, 2026. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, next is the first read of the proposed FY 2026-2027 budget. Board members, any questions or comments?
Dr. Thor?
Yes, Ms. Davis.
The budget report was very comprehensive, and I really appreciate the hard work that went into that report. It was really good. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Any others? All right, moving on to monitoring reports. We have the budget analysis report for the general fund for the 9 months ending March 31st, 2026. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we're now at community linkage. Ms. Bittersmith.
Not used to going first on that. But I do have a brief report. The PAC committee, the Public Affairs Committee, had a meeting earlier this month in preparation for the other event that was referenced by the Chancellor, which was the Maricopa Day at the Arizona Legislature. I joined a number of other board members there. And as the Chancellor indicated, we had a number of legislators that came out to have conversations with us or their staff members, which sometimes is equally as important. And at least those of us that were in the gallery and the House side got a very lovely welcome from House members. I think that happened on the Senate side as well too. Dr. Thor is confirming that. So it was a good event, and I want to thank the government affairs team and the marketing, messaging, communications extraordinary team for their help of putting that together. That's my report.
Thank you. Ms. Butler?
I have no report this month. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Davis?
Last month I had no report. This month I've got a big report.
Okay.
So I went to the AGB conference at the end of March, and my favorite session was on the changing credential landscape. And it was amazing when you compare the number of degrees to the number of credentials and licenses. That field has expanded so much. It was amazing to me. And there's a report called Counting Credentials that I looked at that was very comprehensive, and they have a state-by-state report as well, which I thought was very interesting to look at. So I really liked that session. The whole conference was good, but that was my favorite session. I went to Gateway for the ribbon cutting for the new simulation lab, and that was wonderful too. It was so nice to hear from the donor's family and to see the new simulation lab. It's going to be an amazing opportunity for our students. I went to PVCC with my husband on June 10th to see Between the Lines, which was a musical, which was amazing as well. We really, really enjoyed it. And I have recommended it to several friends because I thought it was really good. I went to the day at the Capitol and saw the Dog and Pony show that President Lashinsky put on over there, along with some other wonderful things. So it was great to see everybody. And I just love when we're out like that so that the community can see the wonderful things that we have going on, because I was in something earlier today where an organization described themselves as the best kept secret. And that's kind of how I feel about our community colleges. I feel like if our communities even knew half of what was going on behind those walls, they would be amazed. I went to my first foundation board meeting with Miss Julie in April. So that was fun and I learned a lot. I went to the ACCT dinner and meeting on April 22nd and 23rd. And I went to the Linda B. Rosenthal lunch on the 24th. So it was a busy month and I'm looking forward to next month and all the graduations. Oh, I went to the Hoop of Learning ceremony too with Dr. Narini. That was fun too. We had a lot of boys this year in that ceremony. Last year, I remember sitting next to Dr. Narini and saying, there's only like one boy in here. So it was very great to see so many boys at South Mountain. It was a great ceremony. Thank you.
Ms. Sullivan.
Report.
I am, but no. So anyway, it's been, this is a great time of year. There are always so many things to do. And we look at our calendars and we go, okay, I can go to this. I can have a conflict. So I can't go to everything that I'd love to this year, but I'm appreciating all that you do and recognize there's a lot of excitement out there. But let me tell you what I have done. I also attended the AGB National Conference in Denver. And as Ms. Davis described a session she was impressed by, mine was, I was scared to death by the panel presentation on AI. And I remember the first conversation I ever had with someone about AI, I was a little intimidated. Well, now I'll just admit it, I'm scared to death. And I guess the message is that we can never be prepared enough, and that there is so much coming, and the rapidity of change daily is something that will be a challenge for all of us to keep up with in higher education and ensure that both students are prepared, faculty are prepared, but we as policymakers are also part of any conversation and framing of AI. So just know that I need a lot more information to become calmer about that piece. So the fun stuff also, I attended the annual Honors Scholarship Awards. That was really wonderful to see so many students acknowledged. I attended the Outstanding Adjunct Faculty Awards. Again, impressed with the adjunct faculties and the variety of backgrounds that they bring to our students. Very impressed with other jobs and things that they bring to the table, and made me want to attend a geology class, a film class, and others just by getting the biographies of the faculty. I attended the Arizona All Academic Celebration, and that was great. And from there went to the AACCT dinner, followed by the trustees meeting, also in concert with the chancellor and others. I happened to chair that group of trustees, so that was exciting to think about what we can do going forward together. I attended the Linda Rosenthal graduation program, and it always impresses me with what the mentors are providing our mentees, and that it's a partnership that folks carry into the future with them as they think of their commitments. Tomorrow, I'm off to Washington, D.C. for the AGB board meeting. And to all of you, again, the ones I miss, I'm sorry. But I'll catch up with you a little bit in May. So looking forward to those opportunities and experiences. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
I also attended the Maricopa Community Colleges Foundation board meeting on April 22nd and the Linda B. Rosenthal luncheon. And I really appreciated the theme of authentic leadership, and that you don't have to be a cookie cutter leader and replicate what you've observed, but really lean into who you are and find your own individual path. I thought that was a nice theme, and congratulations to the organizers of that mentorship program. Just continues to make a great impact, as evidenced by the inspiring speeches. Thank you.
Dr. Narini?
Thank you. With some of the other board members, I too attended the Day at the Capitol, the All Academic Celebration, All Arizona Academic Celebration, the AACCT meeting, to the Hoop of Learning, and the first co-ed Linda B. Rosenthal graduation. Yeah, speaking of having been, yes. I was at the annual district honor celebration, and I also attended Gateway's nursing pending ceremony, where we had the first bachelor's students graduating, right? Yeah. I was at the site council meeting for PCPA. On April 6th, I attended the Public Affairs Committee. April 7th, I was at ACCT Regional Online meeting for the Pacific region. And then I missed Estrella Mountain's fundraiser and the Adjunct Faculty Awards because I was at South Mountain for the Heart of the Mountain fundraising celebration. So for all you Steeler fans, you missed Marcus Wheaton, for South Phoenix's own Marcus Wheaton, who played for the Steelers for 5 or 6 years. So yeah. Let's see, I was a guest speaker at Dr. Moiser's educational leadership class at ASU on April 21st. Did the Hoop of Learning celebration and was at the South Mountain ACE graduation. This is my pin from the ACE graduation. So, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Narini. I mean, it truly has been a very busy month. On March 26th, I attended the annual authors luncheon of the American Association of University Women Scottsdale branch. And the branch meets regularly at Scottsdale Community College, where the branch supports scholarships for SCC students. At the luncheon, I was honored to join in the presentation of a check for $15,000 to Dr. Lashinsky to be added to the AAUW scholarship endowed, AAUW Scottsdale endowed scholarship that's housed in the Maricopa Community College's foundation. On April 15th, I also participated in the Maricopa Day at the legislature. I was part of the group that was introduced in the Senate, where multiple senators praised our colleges. And the individual college booths were just fabulous, really a great job. On April 21st, I attended Mayor Kate Gallego's State of the City address and luncheon, and both Todd Sanders and the mayor acknowledged the service of our chancellor. On April 22nd, I joined Ms. Sullivan and Dr. Narini at the All Arizona Academic Team Luncheon that honors the scholars from the 10 Arizona Community College District. And I always find that a special event to celebrate with our students and their families. On April the 24th, I joined the 4 other board members at one of my additional favorite events, the Linda B. Rosenthal Mentor Program graduation. And I am inspired every year by the participants in the program. And it makes me so hopeful for Arizona's, or for Maricopa's future, knowing we have these leaders moving up. So I want to thank the planners, the presenters, and the mentors of that program. And then yesterday and today, the Chancellor's Search Committee interviewed semifinalists for Chancellor and have recommended finalists to be reviewed by the board on May 11th. At that same general time, 4 informational forums will be conducted with the finalists. Forum participants will provide feedback directly to the board before our deliberations on the evening of May 12th. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Chancellor's Search Committee. It has been a fabulous committee, and they've spent many hours, both in meetings, in reading voluminous cover letters and CVs, and then also spending 2 days of their time interviewing the finalist. And I just want to say that those who came to interview, I think, have a really good sense now of the professionalism of the employees that make up the Maricopa Community Colleges. So thank you all very much. And also a thanks to Charlene, who took 2 days of her week to assist with greeting, escorting, and so on, the finalists. So thank you all very much. That concludes my report.
Dr. Thor, I think we may have a student trustee report. I think she's with us, Smith.
Oh, Pamela, are you here?
No,
apparently not.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry. So as I just mentioned, May 11th and 12th will be executive sessions of the governing board to interview finalists. May 12th, we will have agenda review and to be followed by the executive session I just mentioned. And then May 26th will be our regular board meeting at 6:30 here at the Rio Salado Conference Center. That concludes our meeting. Thank you everyone for your time tonight. Let the record reflect that it is 8:02. We are adjourned.